In the headlines to the CBC NewsNight, a record arrivals day at the airport. At least 4 babies born so far for the day. And in sports, the BTC to implement bigger plans for the 2024 horse racing season.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
For the CBC NewsNight on this New Year's Day, I'm Wendy Burke. Hundreds of visitors arrived at the Grantley Adams International Airport, making it a record-breaking New Year's Day event. They were welcomed by dancers from the Haynesville Dance Club. Trevor Thorpe reports.
It was a record-setting day at the Grantley Adams International Airport today. The build-up started from midday and gradually surpassed year-to-date figures. The airport's communications specialist, Charlene Brown, says air-to-sea arrivals, coupled with international travellers and regional visitors, making Barbados their destination of choice, drove up the numbers.
It's the first day of the year 2024 here at the Grantley Adams International Airport, and we're happy to say that we are experiencing really good numbers into the country. This is a 20% increase in airlines into the country as opposed to last year during the same time. We have 12 international flights during our peak time and 4 air-to-seas. This is really indicative of what we've been saying all along, that tourism is growing, tourism is steady, and people are coming into the country. During the last 2 weeks, we've experienced very, very high numbers, and we're also happy to say that even during those high numbers, we have not compromised on safety and security, and progress is definitely being made at the Grantley Adams International Airport.
Today was also special for an arriving Barbadian, WestJet's First Officer Shane Jordan. In the company of Captain John Cooney on a 737 aircraft, they were responsible for bringing 159 visitors from Toronto.
It was an amazing feeling. As a kid, I used to come to this airport all the time and watch the planes land, and just to be at the controls today myself and landing a commercial airline in Barbados, it's a dream come true, honestly.
The first officer spoke about the requirements of the job and said he would be spending 3 days with family and friends before heading back to Toronto.
He's the main guy in charge. We both fly the same, so he let me fly the leg down. So I was at the controls. I did the takeoff in Toronto. I did the landing here. So we usually switch each sector. So on the way back, he'll be the one flying, and I'll be on the radios and managing all the flight computers.
Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Local hoteliers are looking forward to the upcoming World Cup in June this year, which is expected to give a major boost to the summer bookings 2024. Word of this from Chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Renee Coppin. She anticipates that this will translate into the same success reaped from the recent England tour, which occurred during the early part of December last year. In her New Year's message, Ms. Coppin stressed that the World Cup is scheduled to occur during the month of June, and it is the BHDA's goal to ensure that tourism practitioners deliver an excellent experience to all those who come to the island.
Good news for us as an industry is the upcoming World Cup in June 2024, which will give us a boost to our summer 2024 in the same way that the recent England tour gave to the start of our winter season in this last December. The World Cup next year is scheduled to run from June 3rd to 30th, and it's our goal to ensure that we, the tourism practitioners, deliver an excellent experience to all those who come to this island. This will be the 3rd Cricket World Cup that we have hosted here in Barbados, a feat which few can boast and which we as a small island should be very proud of.
Ms. Coppin says Barbados has one of the highest per capita incomes in the Caribbean, being one of the highest rated islands on the Human Development Index. She says tourism is our business. However, we need to continue to build out our other economic sectors.
We are 100% committed to ensuring that tourism continues to remain a main driver of our economy and society. This winter, Barbados will have some of the strongest airlift out of the UK market. In addition to traditional and already scheduled airlift, we have new airlines like Suriname Airways commencing service twice weekly in what we hope will be a year-round schedule. This is really what we need to keep our industry operating optimally: year-round airlift and year-round arrivals.
The Barbados Workers Union has reaffirmed its commitment to its members moving into the new year. General Secretary of the union, Tony Moore, said in her New Year's speech that in 2024, their focus is on strengthening their relationship with their valued customers. She continued and emphasized that they are committed to increasing their membership, ensuring that every worker in Barbados knows they have a loyal ally in the BWU.
In embracing our mantra, it's about you. We are not just affirming our commitment to each of you, we are also highlighting the pivotal role you play in shaping our collective future. This phrase, "it's about you," is a call to action, a reminder that the power to effect change lies in your hands. It's about recognizing that each of you is not just a beneficiary of our efforts, but an essential participant in our journey towards justice and fairness.
Resilience, reflection and renewal will be the hallmarks of 2024 for the National Union of Public Workers. President Kimberly Agard, in her New Year's message, says the trade union will be celebrating 80 years and they will be fully engaging members as they look at the contributions the union made to the lives of public officers.
The development of public sector trade unionism, along with improvements towards the everyday life of the common man in our proud and industrious nation. Another focal point for this year will be the future of the union, how we can reshape and restructure the organization to be one of the leading entities for the continuous advancement of our members and the public service.
It was a New Year's celebration with a difference. Elevate. Yes, it's a fete with food, drinks, party favors, special photo memory booths, and the who's who in Barbados as guests. But it is also a new edition each year, and this year it was not about beauty, it was about beauty and skin, not just for the ladies, but also the men. A number of popular DJs kept the crowd on hand on their feet in an atmosphere of finery and finesse. The patrons came from all over because they view it as a not-to-be-missed party.
What brings me to Barbados on this New Year's Eve is the great music and all of my friends who are here celebrating the incoming 2024. Listen, there's lots of fireworks going on in here tonight. Between the decorations, the decor, the music, all the people dress up so fancy. It's a beautiful venue. Even though we're not outside, there's lots of fireworks in here.
And we can look and see there's people coming in, there's tourists coming in, there's locals, everybody coming and mixing, great vibes. You have nothing to worry about. The music is always good. I mean, like, where would you want to be?
I finally get a day off, and I tell myself, man, I go like reach the highest standard. I go get to the place that like pretty much like top tier. So everybody telling me that Elevate is the top tier. Everybody telling me that Elevate is where you need to be. And so far, they ain't wrong. They ain't wrong at all.
For a New Year's party, you would not want to get wet. You know, you want to dress up, and you know, you want to look your best. That's why we chose Elevate, because also the decor, just the vibes, everything is just great here.
Elevate is the best New Year's party every single year. It gets better every year. There's nowhere else to be except here.
However, the merriment paused ever so slightly at midnight as attention turned to the spectacular fireworks display that ushered in the new year. For our roving cameraman, the Folkestone Park in St. James provided one of the better vantage points to see what the West Coast had to offer. A number of hotels and restaurants set off fireworks for their patrons to count down the new year and other bystanders. The water was also a great vantage point, with a number of barges positioned out to sea. New Year's Day didn't bring with it all smiles and excitement for at least 8 passengers in 2 vehicles along Deacons, Fairfield and Blackrock Main Road early this morning. Police say around 3:15, these 2 cars collided at the stoplights in Blackrock, creating carnage and leaving the road impassable. Lawmen say the car was going northerly along Blackrock Main Road, while the van driven by a 21-year-old male was moving southerly on approach to the traffic light when they both collided. The driver of the car complained of injuries to the feet, knees, while his front seat passenger, a female, had injuries to her abdomen and feet. Police say 6 of the occupants of the van sustained injuries to the head, knees, right arm and feet, respectively. Both vehicles were extensively damaged. Lawmen say a number of the injured were treated on location. However, 2 ambulances from the Queen Elizabeth Hospital were summoned to take those needing greater care to the QEH for treatment. In a separate accident, 2 cars collided head-on along Gun Hill in St. George around 6:15 this morning. 3 of the occupants were taken to the QEH complaining of a number of injuries. Coming up, we'll tell you how many new additions the Barbadian population has up to this point. Barbados welcomed its newest citizens today. They came into this world at various times during the day. There are 3 girls and 1 boy so far. Communications specialist at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Shane Seeley, says the count is expected to increase.
We also have 3 mothers in labor as we currently speak, so we should expect that the tally should go up to 7 by the end of this January 1st, 2024. The team has been working around the clock really hard, our nurses and doctors, and we really want to thank them for their commitment over the year 2023 and going into what is our 60th anniversary year here at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital.
Mr. Seeley was speaking on the occasion of Bryden Stokes presenting the QEH with gifts for the newborns. He's thankful for the supply of 50 hampers for 50 mothers. Mr. Seeley's also happy for the 6 months partnership and hopes it will continue in the form of more donations. Bryden Stokes brand managers Nicole Hall and Sanju Patterson were on hand and spoke about the company's outreach and involvement with the hospital.
On Friday, we would have the opportunity to just deliver just about maybe 35 Pampers and wipes to the ward. The overall initiative was basically to show our goodwill to the QEH hospital. Recently, within the past maybe year and a half at Bryden Stokes, we would have recognized the need for persons reaching out to us for donations. So we decided, why not come to the hospital where it all starts?
This is the core of what we do, why we do it, So every day we look for opportunities to partner in a meaningful way, and the Queen Elizabeth Hospital is definitely a partner that we want to continue working with.
Dr. Faye G. Paris, president of the Barbados Nurses Association, has a number of goals and priorities set for the organization after a challenging 2023. In her New Year message, she says COVID-19 and the global mass migration of nurses took them over, but they were resilient and innovative in responding to patient needs. She says some of the pluses were better working conditions for nurses, adjustment of allowances, uniform distribution, and others.
Commencement of the 4th chance at the RUNR, safe staffing, workplace safety, enhancement of environmental conditions, and the implementation of specialty nurses. We have advocated for more funding and resources for nursing education, the acute care, public health, mental health, and long-term care sectors. We have raised awareness and support for the issues that affect our profession, such as violence, burnout, staffing shortages, and for mental health support for nurses.
Good evening with Sports Night. I'm Mark Seal. Wasting no time, many sports associations and organizations will be kicking off their 2024 calendars very shortly. For example, the Barbados Football Association, Barbados Amateur Basketball Association, BSAC and NAPSAC are all gearing up. But one of the first out of the blocks, though, will be the Barbados Turf Club, with the BTC Board of Directors race day set for this Saturday. Now, this first season of racing will also include the Sandy Lane Gold Cup. CBC's Anne-Marie Burke caught up with Secretary and CEO of the Barbados Turf Club, Rosette Pierce, to discuss their 2024 goals following a successful 2023.
Horse racing fans will agree 2023 did not disappoint. And for the Barbados Turf Club, it was the year that they can truly smile about, as we hear from Secretary and CEO Rosette Pierce.
We've had a wonderful and successful year. January started with a boom. It's the beginning of our tourist season, so the numbers were up in terms of visitor arrivals, and that obviously was reflected in the number of people that we had here watching races. So that moved right in to our big day on Gold Cup Day. Gold Cup Day was massive. We had a great day. We introduced some new opportunities for patrons to enjoy themselves on the outside, VIP lounge, new facilities. It kind of tapered off mid-year, summer as usual. Numbers went down, but the locals were still with us, and they too came out in their numbers, albeit they weren't really coming through the door into the grandstand, but we could see the numbers building on the outside. And we're still quite thrilled with that kind of response as well, because it shows us that people are still very much interested and invested in horse racing.
Introduced back in 2020, night racing still continues to be a hit.
Night racing has a whole crowd of its own. It brings new people to the races, which is exactly why we wanted to do it. Not everybody can make it out during the day. It's not always convenient. Some people think maybe it's too hot and so on. So we see a new element coming in at night. So that increases the crowd attendance, and we're happy with that. Of course, with night racing, we have to increase security. We have to be a bit more vigilant, and we have to put a bit more thought into the safety aspect, because once the sun goes down, we know what happens. But thankfully, so far, it's been safe, and everybody's continued to enjoy it.
On the track, the standard of racing has also increased, as a lot more quality horses are making it into the gates. And there's a reason for that.
We increased the subsidies to owners for bringing in new horses. So we saw overseas horses coming in their numbers, and that increased the quality and number of horses that we had to offer for our race days. And I think owners too are happy to see that the Turf Club is investing more in the product, and they're seeing returns.
New sponsors, improved facilities, including a new sky deck and sponsors lounge, has been part of some of the infrastructural improvements for 2023. And this is a preamble to the plans for 2024.
We're continuing to develop the facilities here. The Turf Club is over 100 years old, very dated. We're not in the modern era as yet in terms of what we offered for facilities. So that's the big plan for 2024. We started it in 2023. We'll continue into 2024-25. And hopefully by 2025, you guys are going to be amazed at what we've done.
The curtain came down on the 2023 season with the Boxing Day race day, and the curtain will raise on 2024 in a few days' time, with the New Year's race day set for January the 6th.
That's our news. Good evening.